Tamor McIntyre, known for his stage name TK47, sat quietly in the courtroom as his case was awaiting to be called up. McIntyre, already convicted of murder in Tarrant County and sentenced to 55 years in prison, has been awaiting trial in the April 2017 capital murder of Mark Anthony Saldivar. According to an arrest affidavit, Saldivar was robbed of his camera equipment and fatally shot in the Chick-fil-A parking lot across from North Star Mall. At the time, McIntyre was on the run after cutting his GPS monitor while out on bond awaiting trial. McIntyre was later caught in New Jersey. But while on the run, he released a song called The Race. The music video on YouTube has more than 360 million views, and the song ended up on the Billboard Hot 100. In it, he posed in front of his wanted poster. Since being in the Bexar County Jail, McIntyre has picked up 3 new charges of prohibited substance in a correctional facility. McIntyre, if he's found guilty, would automatically be sentenced to life in prison without parole.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about a rapper who I haven't heard nobody talk about in quite a while, and that person is Tay K. Now, I know some of y'all may not be familiar with Tay K because the whole Tay K saga happened way back in 2016. In July of 2019, Tay K was found guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to 55 years in prison. Now, Tay K was only 16 years old when his crimes took place, but again, he wasn't convicted until 2019. They tried him as an adult and pretty much decided that they were going to lock him away for forever. Tay K is one of them people that have just had a crazy story from the jump, right? When Tay K's story first broke, all we heard about was this kid who committed a murder and then went and recorded a song talking about the murder, posing beside his own wanted picture, right? And some of y'all may be familiar with that song. It's called The Race. It was a crazy case. Now, after Tay K was sentenced, we heard him making statements like this one on Twitter where he said, "I bet if I was a little white kid, they wouldn't have gave me no 55 years for a crime I was alleged to play the most insignificant role in when I was 16. They would have rightfully argued that my mind wasn't fully developed and gave me rehabilitation and a second first chance at adulthood. One of my co-defendants was a white girl who was 16 just like me. They didn't certify her as an adult, but they certified me and Pimp as adult. Pimp got 30, I got 55. She ended up getting 10 years of probation with no deal. That girl at home right now. I really just need one chance at adulthood." And look, I'm all for the innocent until proven guilty stance, but Tay K has been found guilty of that murder. I realize he feels like he may not have played as big of a role in the first case he was convicted of as they made it out to be, but in the end, he was convicted. He is guilty of that crime. Was he treated unfairly in his trial? Not really, man. The difference between Tay K and the chick who only got 10 years of probation is that the chick who got 10 years of probation wasn't on Twitter talking about this house arrest of 12, they gonna have to catch me on hood, and she wasn't shooting music videos pretty much bragging about the crime that she committed, right? Despite that, his pleas for more fair treatment went unheard. The sentence stood, and for the last 5 years, that's pretty much where it has been at. Now, Tay K has had cases pending since then, most significantly another murder charge of a dude that they allegedly shot and killed in a Chick-fil-A parking lot while robbing him of his camera equipment. At the time of this second murder, Tay K was on an ankle monitor. He cut that GPS monitor off and fled while he was out on bond. He's from Texas, but the authorities caught him in New Jersey trying to lay low. I guess bro was making music about his crimes, but it looks like we are coming into a new chapter of the Tay K saga as he just went to court yesterday and had trials scheduled for this second murder charge. Now, y'all know I got the footage, the whole footage in its entirety, everything that the judge said and what all has been requested. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of that footage.
Tamor McIntyre. All right, so I'm assuming all the discovery has been taken care of?
Discovery has been taken care of, Your Honor. The last time we talked, we had received a ballistics report that had been generated just this fall. Our expert is still reviewing that and advises he needs probably about 60 more days to complete his answer. But that's the last thing that we have facing us. After that, we'll be ready.
Yesterday, we spoke with him yesterday, Your Honor. And he said he will get it done within 60 days.
All right, I need an acknowledgement of discovery signed today.
Okay, Judge.
And then Norma, set this for jury trial in February. This is going to jury trial in February. Is if it is going to trial. All right, you're scheduled for jury trial on February 10th.
Thank you.
All right, what will end up happening? How many how many jurors are you all expecting to need on this case?
It's going to depend, Your Honor. The nature of the case involves a music video, and that music video is very famous and well known. So we may need a little bit more than the average pool because people are familiar and informed an opinion. They'd be disqualified.
It happens to be the most watched video of that's.
Well, I haven't seen it. I guess that says more about my age. So,
I think that's correct.
all right, Norma.
You're young.
I like that. Thank you.
You are.
Norma, then put this for jury selection on February 7th and see if the central jury room is available for jury selection. So jury selection will take place on February 7th. And if you all have motions, those motions need to be heard the week of February 3rd.
Okay. Your Honor, just as a clarifying point, we would like to use what they call audience participation software in the selection process, where we would give the individual Venarman a clicker with different buttons on it, so that when we ask them scaled questions, their answers are submitted to the attorneys for both state and defense, but they're not shared among the pool. Our fear being that sometimes when you ask scaled questions after about the first 4 or 5, people just start parroting the answer of the person in front of them. But
Well, here's the problem with that. How is the court reporter going to take those answers down?
we would be asking that we give the raw data both to the court and to the state. And those answers could be simply received into the record as an exhibit rather than as, the court reporter having to say juror number 1, answer 2, juror number 2.
It should speed up the process. That's the theory.
Oh, don't worry. You guys will have 20 minutes each side.
That's generous of you.
Pretend like I'm a different judge and people would say, okay, that's generous.
One of your predecessors in this court in particular, I think, was fond of that.
Yeah.
So as I give time for jury selection and people think it's not enough time, just view the wall. I would say 1, 2, 3, number 4,
Yeah.
counting this way.
I think reasonable.
All right. Well, state, I allow people to do their jury selection, however they want to do their jury selection. If there's any objections to that being the process, then let me know. But we will make sure that the process you want to proceed with is on the record. So it won't fall upon the court reporter if something is not present for the fourth court or whoever it might be to say they didn't take the record down appropriately.
We
That makes
definitely want to
sense.
make sure it's documented, and I think that we have the capacity to do that really quickly, and it'll be smooth. But how many jurors would the court intend to call? We have 100 clickers right now. I can get more, but I just need to know how many of the court participants bringing.
All right. Well, how many do y'all, the central jury room holds about 200?
So probably about 200.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. That jury selection, and Norma, can you call down to the central jury room right now and see if February 7th is available? Here's the thing about calling up a jury on Friday. That means it goes on Friday, because if it doesn't go on Friday, that's $75 per juror. And the county doesn't like it when jurors are called up and then it doesn't happen.
I can understand.
Okay, so Ms. Ferguson is going to check very quickly about that. And then do y'all have any motions that need to be heard before that date?
We will have some motions in limine. I don't know how the court wants us to
With the
time it.
motion in limines, I don't know anything about your case. So with the motion in limines, unless it's something that's black letter law, which usually it's not, I always tell both sides to approach before they're going to get into any things that are covered by the motion in limine.
Okay, so let me interject right here for just a minute, because I know some of y'all do not know what they were just talking about. So what he said was that he wanted to file a motion in limine, and a motion in limine, as described by the Legal Information Institute, is a motion whose main purpose is to address potentially prejudicial, irrelevant, or inadmissible information that could unduly influence a jury or hinder the fair administration of justice. In other words, the point of filing a motion in limine is for attorneys to prevent prevent an opposing side from presenting evidence that could be highly emotional, legally problematic, and by excluding particular evidence, they can help avoid any potential prejudice that could arise within the jury. The reason why they probably want to file this in this particular case is because I'm sure the prosecution is looking to use the music videos, tweets, social media posts against Tay K. I'm sure that his attorneys want to try to limit what the prosecution is allowed to show, and they're going to try to argue that some of that stuff will overly prejudice the jury. But the judge said, you know, hey, I don't want to hear any of that right now. I don't know a single thing about this case, so I can't decide right now if any of this would prejudice the jury. What I need you to do is try to come to an agreement with the prosecution first. If y'all can, let me know what y'all agree on. If y'all can't, then we'll have to come back without the jury and people in the courtroom, and we can figure it out at that point. So that's what that whole part was about.
That's reasonable. I think if we file them, that gives both sides at least an understanding of when that's going to happen, so we don't have.
Sometimes I find that parties are able to agree.
That's correct. Your Honor,
Yes.
two additional matters.
Yes.
One, hopefully we won't need the fourth court to look at it.
Okay, the eye wink. Okay.
That secondly, if you recall, we needed to make arrangements. We have Chris Castle here to measure, and he has no way.
He's present today to measure.
He's in the courtroom, yes.
The deputy will allow him. Deputies, will you allow him to go into the back with another party to be measured for clothing? I'm sure you.
He's done. Thank you.
As I tell everybody, I'm not in charge of security. I let the deputies do that. All right, so February 7th will be jury selection. All right, so February 7th will be jury selection, and there will be 200 jurors called. Then on Monday, the 10th, how long do y'all expect this trial to last?
We can.
Yeah,
Okay.
my imagination will probably last at least 2 weeks.
All right, so then this is the schedule. I'll give you all the schedule per week, but I'm going to give you the first week schedule now. So February 7th is jury selection. February 10th, we'll start testimony, opening statements and everything. We'll start that at 1:30. Tuesday, the 11th, Norma, will be 1:30. February 12th will be all day. February 13th, 1:30. February 14th, all day. And then on the next week, 17th is a holiday. We can discuss with the jurors whether or not they want to come in on the 17th or not. If they do want to come in on the 17th, then that will be all day, and we'll make arrangements for the jurors to come in the way they come in. So if you all can make sure you look at your calendars as well for February 17th. Is there anything else?
Nothing.
All right, so there we go. It looks like Tay K is going to be going to trial on this second murder charge, February 2025. If Tay K is convicted and found guilty of this crime, he will receive a life in prison without the possibility of parole sentence. There is no in between here, unless, of course, some type of plea deal is offered and he accepts. But I'm sure that they've offered pleas before. Tay K clearly hasn't taken one, or they just haven't offered him a plea. Either way, this thing is going to trial. Just based off of everything that we've seen in this Tay K case throughout the years, I highly doubt he is going to beat this case. He is more than likely going to be found guilty of it, but it's innocent till proven guilty. He was found guilty of the other murder. On this one, he is still presumed innocent, but that's what we're dealing with. That's what we got going on. We would just have to wait and see what all happens. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about it in the comments down below. Anyways, that's basically it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. As always, it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I'm out.